Hey everyone, so I had quite a fun day yesterday. I started out by going to the Mingo store in Hong Kong on Nathan Road. Now, if you remember Mingo from last time, it's one of the larger, more prominent headphone stores in Hong Kong. They've actually moved into a new location on Nathan Road, right next to the Sino Centre. And, it's actually the same amount of stock. I think it's the same amount of stock, but actually crammed into a much smaller space. There's less listening stations, but there's just as much stuff to demo. I think it's maybe because it's easier for the staff to keep an eye on what's going on in the store. In any case, what I listened to there was the STAX L500 with the S353X driver unit. Now, I've actually had a chance to listen to STAX before. Before I went to Hong Kong, actually, I took a trip to actually have a listen to the new L300, the L500, and the L700. And in Sydney, you can get the L300 paired with this little entry-level S252X amp. And with the L500, you can pair it with the S353X amp. If you don't know, STAX basically they're electrostatic headphones. It's sort of a different principle for the driver unit, so they actually had to be paired with specific types of amplifiers. In Hong Kong, I have not actually been able to find the packaged units with the L300 and the S252X amp, which is a real shame because actually when I demoed it in Sydney, I quite liked the combination. For the total system cost in Australia, which is $13.99, is actually less than the total system cost of, say, a Sennheiser HD800 or the upcoming Focal Elia. So I was sort of interested in what a entry-level STAX setup could get you. And in my comparison with the HD800, I actually preferred the L300. Because I found, it was a relatively brief comparison, but I thought compared to the HD800, it didn't have that hardness in the treble, and it was a bit warmer, a bit more kind of relaxing, inviting. I don't know, there was a little less sub-bass, I guess, fullness. It didn't have that same sense of impact, but it was still a very fast, very resolving listen. And then as I moved up the series to the L500 and the L700, all still on the same entry-level amp. I actually have no idea what amps do with STAX amplifiers. I actually don't really have a sense of how critical they are. But I found the L500 was actually, I didn't quite like it as much. I found the mid-tone was a little nasal. It was a little more, it was a little brighter overall. Whereas the L700 I quite liked. It was really detailed, really smooth, wonderful clarity, but way out of my price range at this point. Anyway, back to Hong Kong. I haven't been able to locate the L300 for demo, and I have not been able to locate the little entry-level amp. And now that I'm going to be leaving in just a couple of days, basically, I'm not going to be able to order those in, which is a shame. So what I'm considering now, I don't know, because basically the reason why I'm looking at STAX in Hong Kong is that it's much cheaper than it is in Australia. I can get the L300 because there was a unit I found at DMA Audio on the top of SimCity. I couldn't try it. No demo, but they do have a unit of stock combined with a 353X amp, which is not the entry-level package. It's actually the entry-level STAX with the mid-level driver, which is already quite expensive. But it's basically, I can get that whole package for the same price as the entry-level package I can get in Sydney. So it's quite a substantial saving, and it's something I'm considering. So I've got a few days to think about that. I also took a trip to the Mingo Centre, to the Sino Centre next door. And the Sino Centre, which I went to on the last trip, but I didn't really mention it, it's this basically 4 floors? I think it's 4 floors, including a basement, complex of just Weeb heaven. Like it's just filled with anime goods of every description, magazines, CDs, figures, other goods. And so it's actually, I wouldn't say the pricing is amazing for any of the stores in the Sino Centre, but you can find some interesting stuff there. Last time I was there, I actually picked up that Wolf Children poster that you may or may not have seen in a video. I'm not actually sure. This time around, I bought these. So these are just like posable, very complex, like, you know, those figure. Oops. You know those drawing figures that you can get? Well, these are kind of more complex versions of them. You can kind of pose them, and hopefully I can use these to sort of you know, work on my anatomy for illustration. I actually also found a small IEM store in the Sino Centre, run by a very nice, enterprising young man named Nash, and in that store I found these. So, these are apparently the new flavor of the month, as far as under $100 IEMs go. They are very thick, they are very bassy sounding. I'm actually a little surprised at how thick and bassy they are. They're not uncontrolled, I guess, like it's tight bass, but it is a lot of it. Sort of like the JVC I listen to, but not quite as, I guess, maybe these will grow on me, but right now, right out of the box, I'm not amazingly impressed because they do seem a bit congested overall. The interesting thing is that I was told that there's actually a sort of a new version of these earphones, or they're not even in the box, I don't know why I'm opening this box, with a braided cable, and then I was told that this was the standard version because it has the picture of the standard version on the box, and Nash said that, yeah, it's probably the standard version. Open it up, it's the braided version. So as far as I can tell, there's no way to tell on the box which version it is. This one appears to be stock from March 2016. So I will be kind of giving you a report on those. So I also got these, the JVC spiral dot tips. These are sort of the opposite of the spin fits in that whereas the spin fits I found generally tend to increase the treble on an earphone, these tend to increase the bass because they have little dots on the inside surface of the ear tip that are designed to diffuse high frequencies. I think they're meant to reduce internal reflections from the ear tip. So I'm interested to try these, particularly with the IMO2 and the VSD5S, just to see what kind of result I get. Anyway, this is likely to be the second last or the last video I do from in Hong Kong while I kind of prepare to fly out. So I will see you again soon.